Hi everyone. I honestly believe I'm talking for a vast majority of people, the sane majority in our society, when I'm saying I'm just so sick and tired of living in a culture where you can't even voice out honest opinions or even good arguments or statistical facts without being called a racist, a sexist, a xenophobe, a Islamophobe, a homophobe, transphobe, all those things. And of course, they're just name calling. There's no argument in calling someone a racist or an Islamophobe. It's just name calling. And it's just used as this method to get people to shut up. That they just throw these brands around in the hopes that people will get scared and just shut up and quit bringing up these inconvenient facts. So, to these social justice people, I would say that it's not racism to point out statistical facts, whether they were about crime or family or about the welfare use or employment. They are simply statistics. There's nothing racist about them. They don't look at people's race. And it's not xenophobia to not want your country ruined by bringing in this endless amount of unskilled, uneducated people from this very primitive culture, which brings with it anti-Semitism, homophobia, misogyny, a real rape culture. There's nothing xenophobic in not wanting that in your country. It's just wanting to protect your environment. And it's not Islamophobia to point out that the Islamic cultures, they are very different from our own, and not just in some superficial way like in food culture or in clothing. They are different from ours in a very deep way. Like their core values are very different. How they view the world, how they view other religions or atheists, how they view women, how they view sexual minorities, how they view their relationship with the environment. Those are completely different from ours. And these people are not going to integrate into our society because, first of all, they have this very different value system. And second of all, they honestly believe their value system comes from God. Of course, they are not going to integrate into our society because they think all other systems are worse than theirs. And if you had a value system and you believed that it came from God, of course you wouldn't accept other value systems. You would honestly believe that yours is the best one. And instead of accepting other value systems, you would most likely try to proselytize other people into that value system you have. And it's not sexism to point out that there are biological differences between males and females. It's simply sexual dimorphism. It's a biological fact. It's the way you can tell male and female peacocks from each other. And there's nothing sexist about admitting that these feminist myths, such as the myth about the wage gap, that they are not true. It's simply pointing out the facts. There is no real wage gap. Women aren't paid less for the same work. They get less pay because they make different decisions. They choose more low-paying fields. They use less hours to work. That's just how it is. It's not sexist to point that fact out. And it's not misogyny to say hi to a woman on the street or ask her to go for a coffee or anything. It's just these hypersensitive people who overreact to everything, and instead of dealing with it, instead of getting rid of this allergy they have towards normal life, they get hysterical and they try to make the rest of us change our ways. And we shouldn't allow these hypersensitive crazies to determine the norms of social conduct for the rest of us. Like, for the rest of us, saying hi and asking people for a coffee, it's just a normal way of meeting people. And there's this portion of less than 1% of people who get hysterical about that, and we shouldn't allow those people to ruin social conduct for the rest of us. And it's not homophobia to point out that the Pride Parade really isn't the best way to increase tolerance towards the LGBT minorities, because the people who don't like gays in today's world, they are these religious people like Christians or Jews or Muslims, and they are not going to look at the Pride Parade with its people in bondage outfits, with its people in dog collars on all fours, and go, I changed my mind. I think these are completely normal people. These are the people I would like to have in my neighborhood. These are the people I would like to have near my children. Like, that's never going to happen. You can't have this freak show and ask people to view you as normal people. You can't have it both ways. If you want to be normal, be normal. If you want to have this freak show, have a freak show. But don't pretend as if you're doing this to increase tolerance. It's not going to do that. It's only making you look so much worse to these people. And it's not transphobia to admit that there are only two sexes and there only ever can be two sexes. And it's not transphobia to admit that a person never can change their sex. You can mutilate the person, you can turn them into eunuchs, but you will never change them into the other sex. Trans women will never be women. They will never bear children. They will never have two X chromosomes. And I think it's so frustrating that even obvious biological facts as these are being silenced and called bigoted. Like, yes, I know there are intersex people, but those intersex people, they aren't the third sex. There is no third sex. They are just normal people with congenital disorders. And there are only these two cells that go into making a human baby, so there can be only two sexes. There is no third sex. People can have whatever mental image they like to have of themselves, but that doesn't change the physical reality of things. And I don't think the sane majority, I don't think we are racist or we are sexist or misogynist or homophobe or islamophobe or any of these things. I think we're just normal people who are just sick and tired of these outrageous lies and sick and tired of lying and silencing truth and even scientific facts because they contradict the ideology. Like, if the ideology contradicts the scientific truth, these people think it's the science that's wrong. And of course it's not. And they can call us all the nasty labels they want. And they can try to silence me by using names such as racist, homophobe, sexist, all those aforementioned things. But if they honestly believe that I'm going to just curl up into some corner and shut up because I'm so scared of being called a racist, they have another thing coming. That's not going to happen. The same free speech these people have, the same free speech they use to create this propaganda and these lies for their multiculturalist social justice agenda, it's ours too. We have that same right. And I'm not going down without a fight. I'm not going to just accept that our society, which should have a freedom of speech, is turning such that there are only certain opinions that are allowed and all the rest are silenced or bullied into silence. And these people, they have this failed ideology and we see it failing all the time. We can see here in Europe how multiculturalism is failing. It has brought nothing but destruction and it's wreaking havoc across Europe, like these terrible harassment and rape cases in Sweden and Cologne and all this. It's every day and it's a result of this ideology. They caused this. And They can try to silence people so that people can't talk about what's going on, but that won't erase the practical consequences of their actions. They can't escape them forever. And the facts are on our side, and that's why I believe we will win this. It's only a matter of time. With time, more and more people are going to look at the world and see what destruction this far left ideology has brought us. And they are going to get sick and tired of it. Some people might get scared at first, they might get scared, they don't want to get called a racist or anything. But when there are enough voices that speak out against this, when there are enough voices to encourage others to use their free speech, then we will win this. It's only a matter of time. And I would like you to take part in this. Don't let these people scare you into submission and silence. Speak out. Thank you for listening.